up and start playing some good football.
Okay, now in the Bundesliga, it's round 21 action. Schalke will play Hertha Berlin, Stuttgart against Bremen and Bayern. Will they bounce back against Arminia Bielefeld? Schalke is on 45, Bremen on 42, Stuttgart 38 and Bayern on 34. In France, Lyon have lost 3 on the Jag at the moment. They're on 51 points, but they're 11 clear of Lens, 12 clear of Lille. And Lyon is at home to Lorient on the weekend. And Lens hosting. So showing, and in Holland, PSV on 56 points, Ajax 51, AZ on 50, and PSV is away to Sparta, and Ajax are away to Den Haag. So I hope that sort of brings you up to speed as much as we can here. Jim, let's hear from Steve McLaren. I mean, I watched that game yesterday, and I thought, England started really well. They had some great chances, and Iniesta scored a cracking goal to seal it. Ben Foster, I thought on debut, did very well. But McLaren, when the national coach has to rebuff the critics, you know it's time to panic. Here he is talking to the BBC.
We have won for 4 games. How concerned are you? We don't like losing football matches, and this was a very, it was always going to be a tough game. Always going to be difficult about the players that we have missing. But certain aspects of that, I'm pleased with certain individual performances. I think we've learned quite a bit about a few of them coming in and performing as they did. When you hear Billy ringing around the ground like he did tonight, how do you explain that performance to the fans? We lost the game. Nobody likes to lose the game. We just like that in the final third. We created opportunities to put the ball into dangerous areas, but just like that bit of quality, that final ball, that final shot, that volley, that goal a little bit like Iniesta, just epitomised, that great goal was won the game. We watch these players every week. Some of them are fine players, but they seem to lack belief the longer the game went on. Why was that? I think it's very difficult in a friendly like this when you have to make changes. And you have to look at different ways and fitting people in. It's really just a case of looking at individuals coming in and can they cope, can they adapt, and therefore it's difficult to get cohesion, which is always certain times we struggle with that. But I'm looking at individuals, I'm looking at their performances and seeing if people can break in the squad. I thought Ben Foster did well. Rio was, as usual, Jonathan Woodgate. Rio was very, very good at the back. Very pleased with Kieran Dye's performance. I thought he never stopped running, never stopped trying to make things happen. So I was pleased with certain aspects.
There he is, Steve McLaren. Now let's look at the English Premier League, and the markets are out. tabsportsbet.com.au. Reading at $1.85 at home to Aston Villa. What's your tip, Jim?
Reading 1-0.
I'm going Reading. Chelsea obviously $1.23 at home to Borough.
You have to say Chelsea.
Everton v Blackburn. Now the bad news this morning is that Morten Gamst Pedersen limped off in a 2-1 defeat to Croatia. He played for Norway yesterday, so they've got Everton this weekend. UEFA Cup trip to Bayer Leverkusen and a 5th round FA Cup match against either Arsenal or Bolton. So you've got to go for Everton at home.
Yeah, you have to say, but Blackburn's a very resilient team, and they're playing some good football as of late. I think they might manage to draw there.
Okay, you're going to draw. Man United v Charlton. Well, okay. Newcastle at home to Liverpool.
I think at home, Newcastle, they're picking up as well. They're getting a few players back from injury, possibly draw.
Okay. Sheffield United Tottenham. I've got a draw there.
Yeah, Sheffield United's fighting for their lives at the moment, and they're scrapping for everything. Tottenham's on a bit of a down. I'd say draw as well.
West Ham's at $1.75 at home to Watford.
You'd have to say West Ham, sneaking.
Thank you. Portsmouth v Man City. I'm going a draw here at $3.30.
Portsmouth at home. I think Portsmouth will be a little bit too strong for City at the moment.
Okay. Bolton against Fulham.
I think Bolton just sneaking. Yeah, definitely.
Arsenal Wigan.
Foregone conclusion.
I'll tell you one stat out of that. Thierry Henry has scored 6 goals in the last 3 games. Look, we'll take one more caller before the break. Let's go to Jimmy. Good morning, Jimmy. How are you?
How are you, mate? I haven't spoken to you for a while.
How's it going, Jim?
Kangaroo, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate.
Yeah, just bring up to ask Jimmy Petruzzi a question.
Go for it.
What I'm curious about, Jimmy, is the number of foreigners playing in the UK.
Yeah.
How does it affect the players pool over there towards the English pubs? Because there's only Hargraves or Beckham, I suppose, to a point. Surely there can't be that, the player pool for picking to the English side, there can't be that many players there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a topic of debate in England for a number of years at the moment, and they've talked about capping the number of foreigners who come over and play in the UK, although it is difficult under European law. There's no way around that, so players are perfectly entitled to play out there. And obviously the clubs go out and, buying an English player can be quite expensive. If you look at the market, you're going to purchase an English player, it can cost a lot more, and you can get similar sort of quality from some of the smaller, so-called smaller footballing nations for a lot less. And you've got teams like your Boltons, your Middlesbroughs who've been obviously notorious in bringing in foreign players. It's quite difficult for them to go out there and buy the same quality. But you are right, for sure. I totally agree that it does affect the national team, and obviously the bigger the pool for the national team, the more successful and more options they have. But obviously the clubs are going to do what's right for them.
Well, you see, especially I've been noticing with Arsenal, I don't think they pick an English player at ages. Mine's been Liverpool, and we've got 2 or 3. And the bigger clubs just don't seem to have them at all. They're playing a far more European style of football, obviously being in the Champions League or whatever. And then actually I've seen the lower division games, and it's still the traditional old English game. It doesn't seem to have changed much. And there just seems no quality of players coming through for them. I find it amazing. Country with such support for the game, yet the quality of players is not there.
Yeah, and you are right to a degree. However, there are some good young players who have come through in the past few years, and there's a few more decent lads who are coming through at the moment. But obviously, the influx of foreign players does cut the opportunities.
Jimmy, got to cut it short, my friend. We've got to look after our advertisers here.
Yeah, mate.
Football at 5. Thanks a million, mate, for joining us on today's show. Have a great weekend.
You too, mate.
There you go. There he is, Jimmy. We appreciate him coming on the show. Time for a break. It is now 24 and a half minutes past 5.
Let's get back to Football at 5 with Andy Pascalides on 2KY 1017.
Well, welcome back to the show. Terry Butcher and Sydney FC have parted company. Jim Petruzzi's been in the studio, taking a few of your calls. Lucky winners today. We've had our first talkback session on the show since we started on December the 11th. Jim, I've got to ask you, where did it all start for you football-wise? Where did you get that passion?
I think growing up in the Sydney's western suburbs with a number of players, you can't help get involved in the game, and early on I think I just drawn into the game, and obviously watching the English Premier League and Italian football as well.
You went to the World Cup. I mean, the journey's been wonderful. You've been based up in Manchester as a fitness guru, and now you're doing a little bit more beyond fitness. What was that World Cup like?
Oh, it was a fantastic experience, and
You weren't with the Socceroos, we should point out.
yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I was with Angola. We did well to qualify, and having qualified, we acquitted ourselves reasonably well. It was an awesome experience, and obviously I'd love to be involved again.
More work for you in Africa. Where do you head from here?
Well, there's been talk of doing some stuff in the Ivory Coast. However, nothing there is concrete at the moment. I think I've got a number of commitments in the UK, which I've got to adhere to, and things are going well, obviously, over there, and hopefully more to say when I get back.
Are you still involved with Berry?
Yeah, for sure. I've been involved there, obviously, for a few years, and I've still got an involvement there more on the youth and school of excellence side, and I've branched out and I'm working as a consultant now for a number of teams as well.
Let's give the website a plug again, mate. That's the court is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, I run two different companies out there. It's Petruzzi Soccer Academy, Petruzzi, socceracademy.com, and a performance coaching business, which is petruzziperformance.com as well.
Now, next Wednesday, people can actually meet you in the flesh. You're doing a special for them.
Yeah, I am indeed. I'm going to be running a seminar in the city, and it's based on the underpinning of a lot of the work I've done on the physical side. I've used a lot of psychology. Some of the work that I did recently over at Blackburn, and it seemed to work okay there. I've done it a lot with a lot of different teams, so I decided to share some of the techniques and strategies that I've used.
This is at the Mercure Hotel on Wednesday night.
It is
Valentine's Day. What a great way. Bring your girlfriend or wife.
Bring them along, yeah, definitely.
So how do people get tickets to that?
Yeah, if they can email me on info at Petruzzi, performance.com, and I'll email all the details.
Okay, and how long are you in Australia for?
Oh, only till next week on Saturday, and I fly back to the UK and straight back in at work on the Tuesday.
There, that beautiful warm weather's waiting.
It is indeed, yeah.
You miss home, don't you?
Very much, mate, yeah.
Mate, are you keen to come back in next week if you can manage it?
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Look, let's do it again